What's up, cousin? So I came home and it was a naked man on the telephone in my kitchen cooking spaghetti. If you ever thinking about getting a roommate, don't do it. Don't do it. And don't do it. This is about to be a story time because this is one of the craziest things that ever happened to me. And it was just a regular day. It was just a regular day. So, I decided to get a roommate, living in Atlanta, Camp Creek area, nice gated community, nice townhome apartment. It was very nice, right behind the marketplace, and you're close to everything. I really liked my townhouse. I wanted to get a roommate. I wanted to, take the extra, $700 something and use towards, my credit cards and paying those down. So I said, it'd be a good thing to get a roommate. I got a 2-bedroom. I'm hardly ever here working and on set and doing all these things. It'd be cool. I thought, let me get a gay roommate, a dude, because I don't want to have to deal with the whole straight situation, niggas, bringing these raggedy, nappy-headed hoes up in there, and me having to not be able to bring people over, or whatever the case may be. So I say, I'm going to get a gay roommate, a man, So I was at work one day, and this kid that I knew, we didn't really talk too much. He was cool with me. You know what I'm saying? We would say what's up and stuff like that. I knew he messed around, but he was always late to work. Like 3 times a week. He was always in the office, almost about to lose his job, always coming up with an excuse of why he was late. He missed the train. The plane had a layover. Whatever the case may be, he was always late for work. And I was trying to be a mentor to him. So I would talk to him and be like, you got to get it together. Stop being late, because they going to get rid of you, They liked him. So he always skated by. Always, I don't know how he kept his job for so long, but he always skated by. Now, he was on his last limb at this point. They was tired of him. And he was about to lose his job. So I said, I'm looking for a roommate. I live right around the corner. If you need to be closer to the area so you won't be late for work, you could come stay with me. It's a nice place, gated community. Got your own bedroom. It'll work. I knew he had a job. I knew he could afford to rent. So I said, okay. He said, for real? I was like, yeah, let's do it. He was so excited, to move in, and I was cool with it, Got him his key made, and, he came over with his things. And now my place was kind of fly. I like things a certain way. But this is his room, so he wanted to, paint it, and I let him come over to clean it up and things like that. So he comes over and he comes with paint, and he had the color that he wanted. So he spends the whole day painting in the room. Now, when I went in and looked at it, the paint job was terrible. I mean, it's like he painted it burnt orange or something like that, and you could see it on the ceiling and all on the panel at the bottom and dripping down the light socket, and it just didn't match the rest of the decor, I made sure when I painted, I put the painter's tape up, pressed it down so won't nothing come in, so you can have sharp, clean lines. He didn't even do that. And then some parts, the paint was thicker on one part, and it just was like, I was just looking like, but that's his room, so I was like, I'm gonna just let that go, So he moves his stuff in, and everything is cool. He pays his money for the first month, and everything is cool. Now, when the second month comes, he just forgot that he had to pay rent, or this is a reoccurring thing. It ain't just one fee for a lifetime. This comes every month at the same time. And you a grown man. I shouldn't have to come to you and be like, you owe rent. So I'm like, where the money at? Where the rent? Oh, I'm going to be short. I'm going to have to give it. No, you ain't going to have to. No. That ain't gonna work. You gonna have to give it to me now, Okay, I'm gonna come up with it. You got paid just like me. Where's the rent money? So, I'm starting to get annoyed, but I'm trying to give him a chance. I said, it's a young dude. Let me give him a chance. Maybe this was just a bad month. But in my mind, I was like, nah, this can't be starting out like this, So that was cool. He eventually gave me the money. I was like, I don't know how you gonna get it, but you need to get it. You need to get it now. So he got the money. Now, you sharing the place with somebody. I didn't have company over like that. I never have. I never had people running in and out of my crib and things like that. He had a lot of friends, and the friends was a lot different from the type of people that I usually hang around. So one day, I'm out doing my thing, and I come back home, and I see a big size 13 heel at the door. Because, you take off your shoes at the door. I like people taking off because it was carpet going up the stairs, and, So I see these big ass size 13 shoe dazzle heels at the door. And I look, I'm like, who, I'm thinking like, who over? And then this big transgender, I don't even know if it was a transgender or if it was a transsexual or just a drag queen, came walking down the stairs and was like, what's up? And I was like, what's up? And they was putting on their heels, and I guess they was getting ready to go out or something like that. So he came down the stairs, a few seconds later, and was like, oh, this is my auntie. And I was like, okay. I didn't know if it was a gay auntie or, a house auntie. Auntie you met at the club, or he said it was his auntie, and I was like, okay, so the auntie came over a lot. I would come home and the auntie was in the living room. I always knew she was there because it was the biggest heels I ever seen in my life. Always at the door. But the auntie was cool, She'd be in there chilling, watching TV, and they'd be in there talking and things like that. Whenever they would be in the living room, if they got there before me, I would just say what's up, and I'd go up to my room or whatever, because I didn't want to, just be down there with them. So yeah, it was always different people coming over. A couple times it was a couple of them, a couple I don't know, transgenders. It was a couple of them coming over, and yeah, a lot of times I had never been around that close around, a transgender, a transsexual, but he was friends with him and they was cool. One time, they used to always ask me, when you going out with us, or when you going out with us, and I tried to avoid it to the last moment of time. I said, one day I'm gonna go, and one day just kept coming. They went out every weekend and they kept on asking me, and I kept avoiding it. But yeah, the next month come around and something else come up. He late again with the rent. And I'm like, bruh, I had to do this or I had to do this, but the little boy stayed fly, and traveling and going all over, but you don't got money for rent. That's what I ain't understand. And, he was short. I'm going to be, $50 short or $75 short. And I'm like, nah, you can't be short. You have to have your money for rent. You have to put that up first. There's no way around it. I'm not going to keep putting up with you being short or late. This is the second month that you've been here and the second issue already. I'm like, I'm pissed at this point. Like, because I didn't let you come here and this seemed like this is going to be the cycle. So I told him, like, this is going to have to be your last time, being late. And I said, you're going to pay the late fees too. So you being late with your money caused you to have to pay $150 more out your pocket, which he probably didn't have, but that's the penalty. Like, if you late on rent, why should I have to pay $150 more? I had my money, and I had to pay the whole thing, of course, because I didn't want no strikes on my name because the lease was in my name. So it's like, but you still gonna have to pay that $150 because you late. I'm not taking care of you. No roommate. A boy who got a job and stay traveling and going to the club every weekend. Now, I used to see little clear baggies everywhere and he didn't smoke weed. So that could have been one of the problems. A lot of them. His friends, they would come up and they'd be up in that room for hours on end. And I wouldn't know what they'd be doing. But this one particular day, I come home and, I walk in the door and I hear somebody in the kitchen cooking and talking. And I don't know who it is. So I go and it's a naked boy cooking spaghetti. And I walk in and he on the phone and first thing I look and I see him naked and I'm like, and then I look at my stove and it was like food and spaghetti splashes, noodles and pieces of the beef on there. The sink was full. You seen the box that the spaghetti came in and pieces of onions that rolled off and left on the floor. And I'm like, and he was piling up a plate and had this big plate and just walked past with this plate and ain't say nothing to me. So I had to do one of these, like, am I invisible? Do this nigga know whose house this is? No, I even went outside and looked at the door again to make sure it was my house. Maybe I walked in on the wrong house. Yeah, this my place. So I go back in. I go and look at the kitchen again. And it's just toe up. And I'm like, you going upstairs with a plate and leaving the kitchen. I said, nah, this ain't going. So I go upstairs, I knock on the door. The boy come to the door, still on the phone, like, I'm like, where old boy at? Oh, he ain't here. So, what you doing here? If he ain't here, who is you? You know, he's still on the phone. I'm like, bro, you gonna have to get off the phone. I need to talk to you for a minute. He was like, all right. So he, you know, closes the door. And I walk downstairs waiting for him. Like, so, you know, a minute later, so he comes downstairs. He got his clothes on. And I was like, I don't know if you under the impression that this is old boy's house, but it's not. This is my house. My name is on the lease, and he rents a room here. I never met you, never seen you a day in my life. And I come home, you in my kitchen, butt ass naked, with a plate of spaghetti, and you walk past me like I'm a stranger. Like I'm a stranger in the house, to Mia. He was like, oh, he told me that this was his, and I was like, well, I'm telling you it ain't. He's renting a room from me. And I was like, why you leave my kitchen? Oh, he was like, I was gonna come back down and clean it. And I was like, bruh, like, I don't know who you is. You might be his friend or whatever the case may be. But nah, you know, don't leave my kitchen like this, because you would have been upstairs. Like, how I know you coming back down to clean it? You should have been cleaning as you go. Didn't your mama teach you that? You clean as you go. You don't just mess up everything and come back down after you're full and 50 minutes later, 2 hours later, and then you do it. Clean as you go. The boy was like, he cool, so he comes and he starts cleaning up and stuff like that. But I hear him, talking to old boy, and he goes after he cleans up and gets in his car and leave. And I'm like, okay, good. But the boy asked me, he was there for a couple days, and he asked me, I'm about to go somewhere. If I ring the buzzer, because you had to call the keypad to get in. If I ring the buzzer, you gonna let me back in? I said, like, why am I being a part of it? Like, you're not my company or my guest. You shouldn't be coming here if he not with you. Like, I'm confused. Why do I have to be responsible to let you in and buzz you in and, things like that? He was like, oh, I was like, man, I'll buzz you in, He kept coming, going. I kept having to buzz him in. I talked to old boy. I was like, what's up with, he was like, he's supposed to be, moving here. And I'm like, so he wanted to come and stay for a few days while he looked for a place and things like that. But that wasn't working out. They was always up in the room doing something. I don't know what they was doing, but they was doing something. That boy ended up leaving for whatever reasons. The next month comes up, and the boy late again. Now at this point, I'm like, but he begged and promised me this time, like, I'm sorry, like, I miscounted or didn't do this or do, and it was just like, I'm trying to get this kid a chance. Now, after that, he says that his sister coming in town. His sister and mom had came one time before and I met them. They was vegans. And, they was teaching me, I was, entertained. They was telling me about the food and the vegan life and stuff like that. But his sister was supposed to be coming to visit or something. The visit turned into a month. They never told me that the sister was moving to Atlanta. But the sister moved into my crib with him. So they both was up in the bedroom like they trapped in a closet all day. And, I guess they didn't want to tell me that she moved there. I seen her coming and going. I seen the vegan stuff in the refrigerator and she would come down. But the sister was kind of, weird. She ain't really say much. It wasn't really her. It was that y'all moved her in. Like, she was just there for a long time. And I asked, like, how long she gonna be here? I thought she was just coming to visit. Then he tells me, oh, she was coming to do a job interview, but she got the job, so now she's staying and she looking for a place. And I'm like, when was you gonna tell me that she was staying here with you? I was like, that ain't right. Like, now I got 2 people living with me and it was supposed to be 1. And no, she gonna have to, and you still late on rent? Why you ain't get it from her? I'm confused at this point. Like, bruh, you can't just move somebody in my crib. I was like, your sister gotta go. I can't tell. I was like, you gonna have to tell her. She don't like, she never even talked to me. You can't move somebody in my crib? This is insane. I was like, nah, bro, you gotta, she gotta go. So he had to talk with the sister, told her that she had to leave. She was all in her feelings and, coming down, packing up her food and stuff. And I was just looking like, take that up with your brother. One of the cousins or somebody came and picked them up. They was moving her stuff out. And I was just like, yeah, So this was the last straw for the boy. He didn't have his money again. And I was so heated. I was at work. I had to leave. I knew he wasn't there that day. I had to because at this point he's avoiding me. He's coming in when he know I'm not there and doing what he need to do and leaving before I come. So I knew he was going to be there. I went there and I was like, yo, I need to have a talk to you. And he was like, about what or something. I was like, bro, you got to go. I gave you 3 times every month you've been late on rent and I just can't do it no more. I'm not about to have you mess up my name. You're not responsible. I was like, you a grown man. You have to put your responsibilities and, prioritize. I know you want to kick it and travel and do things like that, but you can't do those things when you're paying rent. Maybe you need to go live with somebody that you can live with for free so you can do what you want to do. But you got to go like now. You can't stay another month because then you're going to have to pay rent again and you ain't going to have that. So, he was like, said something fly and was like, oh, I ain't leaving. And I was like, oh, yes, you is. I was like, either you going to leave or I'm going to put you out. And he was, trying to get off fly, and was on the phone talking to somebody and just stopped talking and went upstairs and went in the room and closed the door. And then, the hood came out of me. I'll admit, I didn't bust the door down. I pushed the door open and was like, no, you ain't gonna just walk away from me and close doors. I was like, bro, you gotta leave right now. And I was like, now you ain't even got time. You gotta go now. So, he called somebody and I was like, I'm not playing. If you don't leave, I'm gonna beat your ass up in here. Like right now, I'm gonna fuck you up. So he ain't want to, he acted like he was calling the police and all of this stuff. And I was like, really, you don't call the police like a little, punk and, Eventually, he said he was acting like he was calling the police because I was getting violent and things like that. But I was like, nah, you don't even mention a police to me. You know, pack up, go. And he did. He packed up his stuff and left. Now, at the same time, I was working with another girl. It was an older girl. She was a Jamaican. She was in her 40s. She was a nice girl. We was always cool with each other. But she was going through some troubles financially, you know, that she would talk to me about, you know. And like I say, she had a daughter that was, you know, in college and a son that was in school. And she needed a place. She was having car troubles and same situations. And I was like, well, I'm getting rid of a roommate right now. The room is yours if you want it. Like, I've known her for years. You know, we worked together. And she was like, really? Oh my God. You know, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a female. She was a lesbian. But she was a female, you know, a grown woman. And she had her job for, what? She was there for maybe like 11 years. So I was like, okay, this might work. You know, we was always cool. So he left out, and you know, a couple days later she moves in. Now, it was a little crazy because some of the things that the old roommate left behind, she just started, you know, claiming it, like, oh, I'm keeping this. And I was like, nah, you know, he coming back for it, you can't. She was like, well, if he come back, he can have it. I'm like, okay, you know, but she loved the place and was like, oh my God, this is so happy. She started decorating and doing her thing and all of that. Now, she was Jamaican, and, you know, I was excited. She was excited. I was like, yo, you know, this gonna be a good situation. I'm happy you here, you know. And she was like, you know, you always gone. And, you know, I love to cook. She was like, you got plenty of food in there, but you just never cook it. I was like, yeah, I know, I don't have time to cook. And she was like, well, I can make you some jerk chicken and, you know, rice and peas. And she was like, my rice is like the bomb. And I was like, really? Like, I was like, yeah, go ahead. Like, the stuff is in the kitchen. Like, if, you know, I got the food and you cook it, you can eat it, you know, and stuff like that. Make me something, you know. So she was like, okay. So she started cooking, you know, and, you know, it was going to be a thing. Like, I didn't mind sharing my food, you know. But, you know, she cooked and it was good. It was good. You know, I ate some. The first time it was okay, you know. Now, another day I came home and she cooked again. And I was like, okay, you know. And she calls me and I see, you know, some of the rice already gone, some of the peas gone, and, you know, some of the chicken gone, because I bought this stuff, so I know how many pieces of chicken I bagged up, you know. So she calls me and says, you know, I left food on the stove, but save me a plate. And I look down at the food and I see a plate already gone. So I'm like, save you a plate? I was like, you know, it's only 2 chicken wings left. It looked like you already ate a plate. And she say, oh no, I gave that to my girlfriend. Now see, cousin, this is why I'm telling y'all this, because I need to know if I'm tripping. You gave it to your girlfriend. When was that part of the bargain? So now I'm feeding you and your girlfriend? The plate you gave to the girlfriend, that was your plate. Am I wrong? Let me know. Like, how am I feeding 2 grown people? Now, okay, so I saved her a plate. I had 1 little chicken wing or whatever, some rice, and saved her a plate. So, you know, the food started running low. She then cooked up all my stuff, you know, for me and her. So I was like, okay, we need to go to the grocery store. We gonna go and get, some more stuff. And I was like, yeah, I want some oxtails this time. You can make those and this and that. So she was like, oh yes, let's go to the store. So we get in the car, riding, busting ties. We pull up at the store. I'm unbuckling my seatbelt. And she's sitting there on the phone. And I'm like, you ain't coming in? She was like, oh no, you can go. Oh no, you can go. I'll be out here waiting for you. And I'm like, so you ain't buying nothing? Oh no, I'm not buying nothing. Just go get the stuff you want. I'll cook the ox. And I was like, wait a minute, like, nah. So I go in, I look at the oxtails. They about $100 for 4 bones. And I was like, no, it ain't gonna be no oxtails because I'm buying all the food and you just cooking it and just eating. And she ate a lot. More than the man. Like, yo, I swear to you, one time she took a portion bigger than mine. And left me like a little bit. And I'm like, it just ain't seem right. So I got tired of buying all the food because I felt like I was taking care of her. I ate out. I was good. I had stuff in the freezer in case I wanted to cook and it was good. And, but now I'm buying all this food for 2 people. And you just keeping your money. So I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna work. So, when I seen the smaller portion that she gave me, I was just like, nah, I'm gonna have to tell her that I think it's best that we don't share food, and I'm gonna have to just keep it 100 with her. So, I was talking to her, I was like, yeah, I just think we need to just not, share food and stuff like that. You buy your own things and, I'll buy my own things and it'll be okay. Cause I was like, I'm just spending too much money. I need to, save money. She was like, oh, okay, no problem. So I went shopping for me. She never went shopping. I would see, maybe some coconut milk or, whatever she was drinking, maybe a mango. She ate Jamaican food and I had, regular stuff, but she never shopped a lot. So one time I went shopping and I filled up the refrigerator with my stuff. She came and had an attitude. Talking about you ain't leave no room for me. And I was like, you don't ever buy nothing. It's been empty for a month. And now you talking about you ain't got no room? I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go clean out the refrigerator, move stuff. I made a shelf for her. She still never bought nothing. I think she just was, but I started noticing, the things that she liked of mine's just dwindling down. It's like a little kid when they go steal a piece of chocolate is so good. By the time, the whole hour up, the whole box of chocolate gone. Now you got to tell your mama, what happened to her turtles. That's how it happened. I seen my juice just going down and down and down. And it's like, is you stealing juice? Who steals juice? So, I ain't say nothing about it, but it was just like, she drank it all. And then she still was, eating stuff. And I wouldn't know until I'm looking for it. And I'd be like, yo, what happened to my... So I told her, I was like, yo, you drank all my juice. You ate all of this. And I thought we said that we wasn't going to eat each other's stuff. And she was like, oh, I'll pick up some more for you when I go to the grocery store that she never go to. So, it was becoming uncomfortable. Like sometimes I would come in and, her and her girlfriend would be in the living room and I say, what's up? So I go upstairs, I'm hearing, different moans, 2 girls moaning in the bedroom, the oohs and ahs, and we and oh, and baby don't stop and keep on going, and it was just like, damn, like, it was just becoming too much. Now we work together, and she tried to get me in trouble at work. Like, and this is where I just was like, how you gonna try to get me fired at work, but you live with me? So I'm like, yeah, this bitch is crazy. Not only that, she tells me that her daughter and son is getting out of school for summer break and they gonna come stay with us. They usually, stay with the father or something, but something happened and now they gotta come stay with her. So this went from one Jamaican lady to a whole Jamaican family living with me. And you trying to get me fired at work. When she tried to get me fired at work, I was done. I was like, yo, how's she gonna try to get me fired at work? And again, she was another one that was coming up short, but it was just petty. Like, I'm gonna owe you $20. Like, no, you ain't gonna owe me $20. If you got all the rest, you got the $20. Don't try to pocket, the extra 20 for your gas money or, your rice and peas or whatever you gonna buy. No, give me all mine. She tried that a few times, which aggravated me. Because, like, I just went through this other situation. I told her about that. But this is where it just came down to the end. After you tried to get me fired at work, how you think you gonna she would just come back to my crib and just wouldn't say nothing, just go up in her room and, I don't like you at work, but I gotta live with you? No. This ain't gonna work. You gotta go. I'm sorry, cousins. Y'all can say what y'all want in the comments, man, but you can't be like dogging and ignoring me at work and then come and turn the key to my house. Nah. So I did something illegal, and I admit I didn't think it out. But people was in my ear like, change the locks. So I was like, yeah, I can do that, can't I? I changed the locks on her. Yep. Changed the locks on that ass. I changed the locks on that ass. And it was funny, too, for a minute. She came in. I heard her down there turning the key. It ain't worked, though. Then she started knocking. But see, I thought smart. I knew that if I just changed the locks, that might be, kicking somebody out of the house that they paid rent for. So I put a note on the door saying, I don't feel safe here, and for the safety of myself, I had to change the locks. Let me know if you need to come in and I'll let you in. Just call me. That's what the note said. But she was down in the, in front of the house in the car for a minute, for a minute. And instead of calling me, the bitch called the police. So she gave the police my number. The police calling me. I shouldn't have even answered for their asses, but I answered like, yeah, because I thought I was in the right. Like, yeah, what's up? Yes, we're talking to so-and-so, and she says that you changed the locks and locked her out. And I was like, sure did. Yep, locked her. I changed the locks on that ass. I sure did. And they was like, that's against the law, right? And I was like, how is it against the law? They said, did she pay her rent this month? And I said, yeah, she still owed me $20, but she paid her rent. Yeah, she paid her rent. Then you can't put her out. You have to give her a key to the locks you changed right now, or you could be in trouble. So, I was pissed, like, and now the bitch done called the police on me. It's like, you called the police on me? Really? Like, you could have just called me and asked to come in. Like, I was wrong. I know it. But come on now. You done moved the whole family in. You keep stealing my food. You tried to get me fired at work. This ain't working. I don't need 3 months of this. It ain't working. Let's just go our separate ways. She still wanted to live with me and all of that. I'm like, why do you even want to live with me? Like, no. I'm like, this got to be your last month here. It's not working out. I'm not happy with you living here. I think you should find another place to go. First, she was like, I ain't leaving. And I was like, yes, you is. And she was like, no, I'm not. And I was like, oh, but I bet you is. So while she was at work, I packed up her shit. Got these big ass industrial plastic bags. Put all her stuff in there nice and neatly. I was respectful. I don't want to mess up nobody's stuff. I packed up her stuff. And I left it in the room. If you ain't gonna pack it up, I'll pack it up for you. Just to help it along the way. Less work for you to have to do. I was being courteous. She came in, seen her stuff packed up. I think she, probably cried or something in the room. Like, I can't believe he's doing this. Yes, believe it. I can't believe you gave me one piece of chicken. Nah, you called the police on me. You tried to get me fired. What would have happened if I would have got fired? Then we both would have been on the street. Idiot. This ain't working. I need my place back. Peace of mind. Now, I know some people have roommates. Some people have great roommates. The roommate experience for me just wasn't that good. And, sometimes you set boundaries in the beginning and people still do what they want to do. They try to test those boundaries. I tried to help people out. I try to have a good heart. But some people take your kindness for weakness. Some people gonna try to get over and over as many times as they can until, the thug come out and then they want to cry and call the police. I'm a fair person. If you would have paid your bills on time, just paid everything the way it did, stop trying to steal my food or, whatever the first roommate did, never paying his rent on time, and all of that is issues. I had a perfect, renter history. And now y'all coming to mess it up. I can't let y'all do that to me. I don't know. Like, I just don't think the roommate situation works. If you have a great experience with a roommate that worked good, let me know. For me, nah. And I ain't even got no big message for this. Somebody else leave me one, because, just pay your own way and don't get a roommate. Maybe if the rent is too expensive, downsize, get something smaller that you can afford, comfortably. And you don't have to have a roommate. You can still put on your credit cards, and things like that. My rent was about $1,600 or something like that. So it's like, maybe downsize to a smaller place if you can, but I like to live in a certain area. I can't be, in a place where the weed man live next door and, people smoking blunts in the hallways and, hookers coming in at 3, 4 in the morning, babies crying, running in the lobby with Pampers on, the gate code never worked because somebody then ran past the thing and knocked the bar off. Yeah. those type of places I try to stay away from. And sometimes you got to pay a little more to be in a nice area. But I learned my lesson. No roommates.